Hey, Nate Lindquist here, and I'm just wondering, are you going after a goal right now? So, is there something in your business that you've been hungry for that you're trying to make happen? And you'll find a lot of things that I share in these videos are something you can apply to other areas of your life. So think about a goal, something you're trying to accomplish, and maybe it's eluding you. It's not coming together. It's taking too long. It's frustrating. So maybe you're trying to earn a certain income. Maybe you've been trying to pay off some debt. Maybe in business you're looking to get some more clients, or you just need to find a way to manage your overhead, find the right team members. Maybe you're trying to launch a new product. Whatever the challenge is that you have in front of you, just know that there's a very specific way that I've found when I get overwhelmed or I'm not getting the results that I want to turn hitting a big goal that you have into something that's actually easy. And so that's what this video is about: how to make hitting your big goal easy. And I'm just going to take you through the steps right now. And I think the first thing that I want you to think about is, why is it hard to hit certain goals? So why is it hard to increase your income? Why is it hard to launch a new business? Why does it become hard to find the new clients, or get your product just right that you're bringing to market? And inevitably, what tends to happen is when we think about something, we aren't all that specific. So we have this stream of consciousness thing that happens in our psychology. And I'll give you an example. So if I said, okay, you need to go right now and you need to find a way to earn your annual income every month. Now, that's one thing that I've found a way to do a number of times in my life and in my businesses, and also I've helped a bunch of clients do that. But when I say that, the first thing that might come to mind for you could be different than for me. But I automatically think, how am I going to get my annual? I don't have enough time. I'm already working too hard, and maybe I'll think, let's see, gosh, I'd have to raise my prices, or I'd have to get more clients. Where am I going to get the leads? Oh, and I instantly start to think about people I'm working with and things that I've done to generate leads that haven't worked. And I think, well, that won't work. So if I can't hit this goal, how am I going to make it bigger? Or I'm just not sure my product's right. So we automatically start to, I think the first thing we start to do is we ask questions. How am I going to get leads? How am I going to get clients? How am I going to get the money? How will it be enough money? How could I get enough work done in a given day? And that's the monkey mind. It's the spinning mind, the overwhelm, the lack of specificity that happens, and it's really normal. I've noticed that if I don't sit down each day and do a very specific set of daily rituals that include checking off some boxes. This is looking at my goals, understanding what standards I have in different areas of my life. Taking the time to meditate, doing my morning exercise. If I don't put those things in place, if I don't get that stuff done, it's like I don't have this home base this place to take off from that's consistent. So imagine being out in left field in a baseball game, and someone says, "Okay, go hit a home run today." Well, you're not back at home plate, so you're not going to be where the pitcher's throwing the ball, and you're probably, if you take off running, you might not even know which way first base is. You kind of have to look around and figure it out. So getting to home base every day is a huge strength to go back to a daily ritual. Even if it seems mundane, it's as the day goes on, you can go back to that planning time, that thinking time, and it gives you a strength. It gives you a powerful sense of something to look back at, where you were thinking things through, where you were able to tap into your genius and your creativity. I know when I don't do that, like if I don't, for me, having a hot tea or a hot cup of coffee in the morning after I've done my exercise ritual, after I've done my meditation, after I've thought through my goals, just sitting there and really just thinking through what I'd like my day to unfold like, has been a huge value. But that's just the beginning of this. What I want to talk about is how specifically you can make a goal easy. So I'm going to get right down into the meat and potatoes. Think of the big goal that you want to hit. I am going to share a couple examples before this video is over, but think of some goals that you want to hit. Think of let's just think of one. And the first step that I want you to take is just find some place to sit still and block out any distractions. Get out a white piece of paper. I've got a notepad right here at the hotel where I'm staying. Incidentally, I've got this lifestyle where I can travel. I can spend time with my kids. I can spend time with my family. I can go meet with clients, and I can do my work from anywhere. So that wasn't always the case. I used to have a marketing firm, used to have 22 employees, 12 of them were full-time, a huge overhead, and I've been able to reduce my overwhelm, my overhead, my what it costs to live my life. And so I can spend time with people who I love and do more of what I love and do meaningful work. I mean, I work really hard. I've been putting in several hours already today, and have a lot more that I'll be doing. But I love what I do. So to get to that place, it's just about like stepping back and knowing that when you're really busy working on what you're working on, you probably start to ask the same questions every day. So let's ask some new questions. The first thing that you do, step number one, to make hitting your big goal easy, and I'm not saying easier, I'm saying you're going to make this easy, is to ask the question, what would make it easy? What would make hitting my big goal easy? And I'm going to use an example. So at one point, I was working to launch a real estate training program on how to flip houses, and it's called Flip Chick Wealth Academy. I've since moved on to other projects and actually tailored that project back, put it on hold because we did a great job of delivering a ton of value to lots of different clients, and the person who I built that with happens to be my wife. But it was a big project, and I had all this business building experience, and I said, well, I'm going to go and build this brand that she's created and launch it to the world. Some of you who know me know about Margaret and the project that we built, and I looked at it as I came in, and she had been doing something really small with sort of friends, family, and neighbors, and has been really successful and is really intelligent in flipping real estate and investing. And so I dove in with her, and I said, well, let's just grow this into a training program and have a lot of fun with it. So but to be specific, my goal was to turn it into my primary source of income, essentially within 90 days or less. And I remember the moment, sort of that entrepreneurial heart attack that I had when E-Myth talks about it being the entrepreneurial heart attack. That moment when you're like, I can do this. I'm going to make something happen. Now, I wanted to take a low value. I shouldn't say a low value. I want to take a resource that's being used less effectively. So her training materials, what she was delivering was very high value, but it was being delivered in a way that wasn't reaching enough people, wasn't securing the revenue, wasn't getting the sales. And I wanted to move it into a higher value, so it was serving more people, getting more sales, and getting better results, both for our business and also for our clients and for their families. So here's what I did. I sat there one evening with a spreadsheet of 47 leads that had come in, people who were interested in taking advantage of the course. And my big goal that seemed very, very overwhelming to me was we needed to see revenue from this. We needed to see multiple 6 figures, 7 figures of revenue from this project. And so I asked the question, what would make this easy? What would make launching this new program from where it is right now to a totally different kind of business? What would make it easy? And I started having ideas about all the work that would have to be done, but the ideas shifted from how am I going to hit this goal? So think about how you feel when you think, how am I going to hit this goal? How am I going to create a 6 or 7 figure business from a very small size to that size? Pretty much, having generated, I think at the time it might have generated maybe $20,000, maybe a little bit more, into a viable education business that really helped more people. And how am I going to do that within 90 days or less? And it's like, oh my gosh, that's overwhelming. So what I did was I started thinking, well, I could look for help from people who are really, really good at taking an educational message and marketing it to more people. And so I started thinking, well, I'm going to be able to review this program, and I'm going to be really good at curriculum creation. And I'm also going to do a good job at helping enroll people, helping educate them in the program once they've shown an interest. But to do the lead generation and actually focus on building out the technology using tools like ClickFunnels and Infusionsoft and even doing some of the copywriting, I couldn't do it all. It was just too much. So to make it easy meant I'd have to be working on the things that aren't my best strengths less, and having someone who's exceptional at it working on those things more, with a goal in mind of having that 6 or 7 figure income within 90 days. Now, so think about your goal. Who could help you? If it's not your specialty, what are the pieces and parts of the goal that you need to hit? If you have this overwhelming sense of the goal, oh my gosh, I got to hit this goal. And if you say, okay, I want to hit it by 90 days, and I'm just picking 90 days because you got to put a date on it or it's not really a goal. And then you say, who can help out? So you ask, who can help out? WHO. You ask, who can help out? It's just a little acronym. Instead of, how can I do it all myself? That's how. Huge, overwhelm, and waiting. HOW. So ask who can help out. And think about, if you didn't have to do it, are there other people who you could delegate it to, but not just delegate it to? Who could you strategically partner with where they could get a revenue share from you? They could make some of the money when you're winning. Who could prove to you that they get great results? Someone who's already getting great results with lead development and marketing. Who maybe for you in this situation, maybe there's someone who has technical ability that you don't have, or has experience that you don't have, who has proven results that you don't have. Look for those things and think about, okay, where do I not have the skills? Where would I have to have more than 90 days, or maybe more than 45 or 60 days of learning that would keep me from hitting my goal? Because if you have to go out and do a bunch of learning, it can be super overwhelming. So I decided I wasn't going to learn everything that there was about building out the most current version of ClickFunnels and to create my leads and my sales funnel. I wasn't going to work on Infusionsoft. I've learned some about it along the way, but only what I needed to know, because I wanted to have someone who was specialized at that. So I found someone who's great at technology, great at Infusionsoft, great at ClickFunnels, and I decided to take, remember I talked about the 47 leads. I started to take the initiative to look through all the material I had and be able to talk to the specific results that solve the problems for the people who were on that leads list. Now, if I'm looking to solve problems for people on the leads list, I knew that I could get really good at asking questions and caring about what they needed to see happen. So in your situation, think about, if you're looking to hit a goal, especially if it's a business goal, inevitably to hit a big goal, and I don't know what it is, but almost any goal in a business requires you to really understand what results someone else needs to achieve. And if someone's trying to achieve a result, usually the opposite of having that result is a worry or a pain or a fear. So you want to think about, again, getting really clear about what the worry and the pain and the fear is that you're going to solve for your client. And that's what I started to do when I started calling those people on that list and suggesting times we could get together. And then my technology team helped me put a scheduling system in place so I could open up certain blocks of time where I'd be available. And what was amazing, in just a matter of a few short days, we had tens of thousands of dollars, actually 20s of thousands of dollars, almost 6 figures in new enrollments for a course. And while I was making those calls for about maybe, say, 3 hours a day or so, I had a technology team bringing in more leads for people who I could help. And then I said, oh, wow, there's some administrative responsibilities. And I started looking at those, and I said, okay, that's, I could do that, but it's not the highest and best use of my time. So I started looking for someone, again, a strategic partner, or someone who I could delegate to, who was exceptional at handling the administrative responsibilities and was willing to take on a project during my 90 days of goals to prove that, in this case, she was exceptional at solving problems in the administrative world and providing customer service. So I didn't have to jump into that role. I could focus on being the voice on the training video and curriculum creation. Again, I got a lot of great content from my wife. So I pulled the best out of her. I love creating course material, and that was her specialty. So together we created something really amazing and to really help people. So again, the first question you ask is, what would make it easy? And I started looking at, well, I can just ask the question, what would make it easy? And I would be able to find out who can help out, who has this specialty in the areas that I don't, that must be applied for me to hit my goal in a short amount of time. And if there's anything that I'm going to try to do, that's going to slow that timeline down, I've got to delegate it to someone or get a strategic partner who's already good at getting those results. So that's just a rule of thumb. The second thing that you want to do is break your goal down into specific bite-sized pieces with dates and just think them through. And an example that I'm going to share for you about that is I just saw that my wife really wanted to put in a California style closet. I don't know if you're familiar with those. They're really nice, efficient use of a closet space. We had a cubbies in my daughter's closet. We have a California closet style closet in our bedroom walk-in closet as well. And it was kind of tipping and pulling away from the wall. And there's all these different things that weren't going right. And I heard about it a little bit and I decided, wow, it's kind of overwhelming. How am I going to hit the goal of building this closet? So what I did was I looked at the outcome and I wrote down the questions that I would have about making this closet, building one from scratch and then fixing ours. And I broke down the project into bite-sized pieces. Then I thought about what order would they have to happen. And I just thought it through. And I decided to be, I decided to be peaceful and relaxed and just take it one step at a time. So instead of getting overwhelmed by this big project of how am I going to hit the goal of building a closet? I've never done this before. How am I going to cut the pipes to size? How am I going to get the brackets? And I've never used these things before. So how am I going to make this work? And instead of doing that, I started thinking, let me just think it through one step at a time. And if I run into questions where I'm not sure what to do, I'll look for a resource, an outside resource, a YouTube video, usually a YouTube video, or I'll ask someone who's already done this before. Or in this case, I actually went to a finished California closet that we had downstairs, and I took some pictures and some measurements about where the hanging racks were, how far the shelves were spaced. I looked at how the fasteners were used, and I got an idea of what a finished product would look like. And then I looked at some of the pictures, and so I opened everything up, and I relaxed. And I know that part of the process is accepting that I had to open up every bag where the pipes were, and where the hardware and screws and wall anchors were. And then I had to think of, okay, what tools will I need? And I just thought it through. When I broke it down into little pieces like that, suddenly I was actually able to put on an audiobook. And if you know, recently I just talked about listening to Anthony DeMello and Awareness. Tim Ferriss in the Tim Ferriss podcast recommended that. I really enjoyed that. I was able to do a little net time book listening on Audible. Net time meaning no extra time, and just enjoy. It became a meditation, and over a period of about 3.5, 4 hours, about an hour and a half to fix our closet, and about 4 hours, I guess, to build the other closet. And I could actually show you pictures, but when I was done, I didn't have that sense of there's this big project, I've got to get it done, I have to have it done so fast. Oh my God, let me panic. I don't know what I'm doing. I just calmly, peacefully thought it through. I broke it down into its little pieces and then just gave my energy and my attention one piece at a time and was able to build the closet. So it felt really good, super rewarding, and it's been a real it's been a real eye opener to hit bigger goals in my business by using that approach. So it translates to personal and to business. So take your goal, break it down into bite-sized pieces, just think through your project and think what order things have to happen. And then the third step is you want to act in draft. You've never been down this road. If you're going after a big goal, if it's big enough, it's something you haven't done before. If it isn't, make the goal bigger. But then act in draft. Don't expect that everything you're going to do is perfect. I think about the number of times that I've launched a new training and I look at it, I'm like, what was I thinking? There's ways to make this even better. I spend a lot of time interacting with certain clients, some key consulting clients one-to-one, to really find out where they're having challenges and where their mental blocks are, or where some of the actions they're taking aren't getting the results they want. And I add those things to my training, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to put that training up. I need to actually put a training up for them to get the benefit from what I already know today and what is getting those results. And then I can adjust it. So being a perfectionist can derail progress. So you want to just don't analyze things to death, act in draft. Create your draft version of whatever your goal is. And if you go through those steps, it's amazing. You can hit your big goals in 90 days. And you'll also start to meet some really amazing people. Today I talked to a really great video producer, because even though some of my videos, I'm shooting video right now on my laptop in a hotel room. So the production quality is not going to be the best in the world, but the material that I'm sharing is It's very valuable from the standpoint of the energy I'm putting into it and the number of people who are asking. I'm trying to go after a big goal. I know that it's going to be helpful. I know I can give a ton of value because I know when I was having trouble hitting big goals, this is stuff that I really wanted to hear. So, working with some of my mentors, they've given me so many gifts of material like this. Now I can call it together, apply it in my own life, and share it in a way that hopefully it'll help you. So I don't have to be perfect. And maybe there's things I've shared that you think, oh, I'm not sure that makes sense or that doesn't really apply to me. I'm always open to questions or feedback or thoughts or ideas. I'm a minimalist, and this video is about 20 minutes, but hopefully the examples I've shared and some of the thoughts that I've shared shine a light and are helpful for you, and it's something you can go use. So what I would suggest right now is it's just to kind of think of what I've shared this way. By going out and going through these 3 steps and making hitting your big goal easier, by applying the 3 steps that I've shared with you, you'll actually be able to open up parts of your mind and have the space to get creative and to make what you're working on, the goal that you're going after, far easier to make happen. And some of the things that you don't know, I hadn't spent a bunch of time putting in wall anchors or cutting with a hacksaw, cutting piping to fit into for closet racks. But you'll find that some of those new challenges and the things that make you uncomfortable will become simpler when you give them very methodical attention, one thing at a time. And following these steps is what you would need to do. Otherwise, overwhelm is what you end up experiencing. And so my goal is to help you avoid that. And I'll tell you this, that in working with my clients, I look back over the last 20 clients who I've worked with, more than 90% of those clients, more than 90% came to me right out of the gate with a feeling of overwhelm and a big goal. So this is very common in building businesses. One of my clients said, I've got a disability. I can't build my physical therapy practice. I'm overwhelmed. I have less enthusiasm for what I'm doing. What's the process I can follow? And this is the simplest answer that I could give you. I look at someone else who was trying to grow his shoe store, and he had this technology project that he wanted to see happen to help really appreciate his clients. He had no experience with software or technology, and I didn't need to be a technology expert, but now he's got a great solution in place that ties to all parts of his business. His business has been growing for a number of years, and he followed this process. Now, there's an awful lot more that we did, but here's the framework around it. So let me just go over it one more time. Here's what I want you to do now. I would just write down this process and then act and draft. Start implementing, go back, watch this video again, start implementing what I've shared to make your big project happen in 90 days. Open up a calendar and look at what's the date. The first thing you can do is what's the date 90 days from now? Where are you going to be? And what will the outcome be specifically? Because the more detailed you get, the more you can pre-experience it in your mind. And there's really nothing that comes true for you if you haven't already seen it internally, seen it in your imagination. So go out and see that, but then you got to get to work. So here's the 3 steps. Ask, what would make it easy? What would make this easy? How can you take things off your plate that make it even more effective? It's not just, oh, if I need to get it right, I have to do it myself. It's like, no, someone's going to do a better job, make it more right, and free you up to do the things you're best at. So ask, what would make it easy, and ask who can help out. And then 2, break it down into specific bite-sized pieces so you can think it through and decide what order things need to get done in. And then schedule those things in a calendar. And then 3, act and draft. Start taking the first action, and when it's time, the next action and the next, and string those together until you've completed your closet, launched your real estate training program, created a constant flow of 10 to 15 new clients a month if that's your goal, or launched any new product in any business, or you name it. Hired the very best person for a project that you need. I would say that real quick, I'll tell you the punchline on the real estate business launch. Right from scratch over the period of that 90-day period, slightly less than 90 days, the business was able to hit well into the 6 figures. So it was a very good provider of the resources I needed for my business and for my family. And also, we were able to help hundreds and hundreds of people around the United States learn how to invest in real estate with that project. And of course, I couldn't have done it without great insights, materials, and experience from my wife, who is exceptional at flipping and investing in real estate. But I was also able to use my strengths in curriculum, course creation, and in putting together a minimalist, very focused team on what's essential to scale a business and reduce overhead and overwhelm. And it was a victory. And we grew that for a number of years. So I hope this is helpful. Go after a big goal. If it feels like something you know how to do, then it's not big enough. You got to let your palms sweat. Say your goal and your palms should sweat, and then follow the process. So go write those steps down right now. Take some notes. Implement some of the action items you know you need to take right now. And I'll be back in another video really soon. Thanks for joining me.